We want to welcome everyone to our board meeting today. Before we get started, we've got a few board members just pulling up. There's a few accidents or something on the highway that's delayed them. But before we get going, I want to make sure we bring board members' attention to board member Scott Hansen asked to be excused. He's on family business, the son's graduation, and board member Laura Belknap is got a family emergency that she's kind of helping with right now, and she might be able to join us. She's planning on it. So I hope for the best on that family emergency, and we're excited for board member Hansen's son's graduation. But with that said, a couple housekeeping items. Safety is really important. We're glad to have our officer Silling here, who with the highway patrol, he's back there in the back, and he wanders around a little bit and makes sure that everything's kind of safe here. We have our exits, 2 ways to leave the building. As you go out in the hallway, you can go to the north or the south. There's the doors. We do have a problem with our restrooms. We're redoing the restrooms, and so the restrooms are working downstairs. There's stairs on this north end, and there's an elevator up there, and then you can also go upstairs also. So we'll take care of that. Is everyone in the lounge area, can they hear us okay? And those in the back, you guys can, I'm not sure what you call that, but it's kind of, I'm thinking maybe a few board members may want to grab their mics and head back there. So you guys heard all the safety. I got a thumbs up, so that's good. So with that, we will, did I cover everything, Miss Lorraine? All right, we'll get started. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll lead that. So we, oh, hang on, what did I do wrong? Is she here? Oh, you are here. I didn't see you pop in. I won't lead that. Okay, board member Lisa Cummins.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next we'll have board member Jennifer Gravitt. You have the board member message. Okay, I will turn this on. Okay.
So I was thinking, when I was thinking about the board member message, I had kind of a memory pop up in my mind. And it happened 5 years ago, and I landed in Beijing, China, with the goal of becoming a more globally competent teacher. The problem is that was kind of the last thing on my mind because I was pretty anxious. I didn't know anybody. I knew a few names of teachers associated with different states in the United States. I didn't know the language. I mean, I could say hello, ni hao. I think I could say, I am a teacher, wo-shi, lao-shi. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. And I could count to 10, which I can't do any longer. When I arrived in Beijing, the whole goal was to get together with groups of teachers across the United States and in China and to learn more about education and to learn more about the Chinese education system. So one of the first things we did is we met with a group of Chinese teachers, and we visited some schools, and most of the day we spent observing and watching and listening, and we asked questions. And near the end of the day, we met in a large room, probably about the size of this, with about 100 educators inside. We were split up in groups. I was sitting next to a teacher from Colorado named Rita, and we were paired with 2 teachers from Beijing. And it was a little awkward at first. We kind of exchanged our names, and we had gifts that we gave to the other teachers, and we were trying to explain to them where we lived. They did not know Utah. I was so disappointed. They didn't know Colorado either. And so we were trying to say, we were talking about the mountains and the seasons. And at one point, one of the Chinese teachers said, like country roads. And without even thinking, I said, take me home. And I didn't know she'd know the song reference, but she looked right at me in the eye and said, to the place. And at this point, I'm a terrible singer, but my dream is to be, I think I'm a great singer, and it feels good. I looked at Rita, the teacher from Colorado, and at the same time, this is teacher magic, we both sang beautifully, I'm sure. I belong, and we held it out. Well, the whole room erupted in West Virginia, Mountain Mama, Take Me Home, Country Roads, and then we all clapped. And it was a really weird experience, but it was a really wonderful experience. And I think at that point, I realized, you know, I knew this on a philosophical level, but at that moment, I felt it. We came from different places. We spoke different languages. We had different teaching philosophies, political philosophies. But in that moment, we were a group of educators that belonged together because we had a common purpose. And I bring this up because I kind of feel the same way when I come into the boardroom. Whether we are on the board, whether we're staff, whether we're in the audience, whether we're listening online, it feels really good to belong here, aside from our differences, because we're here for a common purpose. And so my board message is, I just want to thank all of you for being here, for caring about education, and for creating a place of belonging, because it's a pretty powerful thing that we care about. And finally, I just want to end with a quote I heard from Lon Waters, and he said, "A school is a building with 4 walls and tomorrow inside." I love that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Gravitt. Next, we will have employee recognition. Superintendent, you can take the point on that. We'll need that mic turned on.
We're going to start with Employee of the Month, and then we'll move into our new employees. So Jane, come around.
Hi.
Jane is just an amazing person, and if you don't know her, you need to get to know Jane. So Jane was nominated by her peers for a number of reasons. I had the opportunity to work with Jane personally, and I can tell you that everything that you're going to hear is something I've personally experienced. So Jane is one of our employees, many employees, who's so friendly to the public, but Jane does it to a plum. I don't know, I'm sure she feels cranky inside once in a while, but you never see that come out in her. She is the public face of licensing oftentimes, so she's interfacing with teachers who might be frustrated with licensing issues. And Jane is the perfect person that you want on the other end of the phone, because she will not pass people off, but she tries to problem solve always with the educator. Jane also exemplifies us trying to move from this place of communication and cooperation into a space of convergence where we carry one another's water. So Jane exemplifies that by, if somebody in all of teaching and learning is putting together a meeting or a conference, or something needs to be done and somebody's on medical leave, Jane raises her hand and steps in and just helps, and she does it in such a quiet way, but in a classy way. And we're just so lucky to have an employee like Jane, and her peers have recognized her for her daily extra efforts that she puts in. It wasn't a big flashy event. It's just the way of Jane. It's just who she is as a person. And so we're really pleased to honor her as our Employee of the Month. And you know the drill: parking place, admin day, 8 hours of admin leave, and a crown. Oh, we didn't give you the crown, did we?
Thank you.
So congratulations to Jane.
Thank you. Good. Appreciate it.
And then we have 2 new employees this month, and we keep expertly acquiring amazing people. So I'm going to ask our 2 new employees to come to the microphone and introduce themselves.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Carlos Mejia. I'm working on educator licensing area as an educator effectiveness. I worked for 4.5 years as a paralegal in immigration and criminal. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alex Farah. I'm working in the IT department as a media production specialist. I graduated spring 2018 from the University of Utah, and I've been working in their teaching and learning department as a camera operator for the past 3 years. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Juan Carlos and Alex. Thank you so much. I just want to let the board know that yearly we have an employee service award luncheon. We recognize our employees who have been here in increments of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yes, we've had people in the system for 40 years. So we hold this luncheon and we honor our employees. And that will be occurring on May 21st at 11 o'clock from 11 to 1. And this year we will be acknowledging 43 employees in our agency who've been working from 5 to 30 years. And we have a really large crowd in the 30-year space this year. So I so appreciate the dedication and the longevity of our employees. We do have this ability to retain great employees. So I just want to publicly thank them all and let you know that we'll be recognizing them soon in that way. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we will invite Kathy Jensen, one of our educational specialists, to help us acknowledge the artwork.
Thank you, Chair Huntsman. It's always a privilege to be here. On the walls in the room today, you see artwork that was displayed at Ridgeline High School in the Cache County School District on the event of a district-wide K-12 5-art form celebration of the arts. We had dance, we had drama, we had music, and we had visual art. This visual art comes from Wellsville Elementary, and it was just one of the one of many of the elementary schools. The specialist on this artwork is Miss Gradkowski. Then on your places, would you notice that I have given you, I talked about this before, the graphic novel that was in connection with Spike 150. 8 schools participated with help from professional cartoonist Richard Jenkins, giving them guidance. There was collaboration between the BTS-ALP specialist and a 4th grade teachers. So please enjoy those. The students researched the historical value. Some of them chose to go fictional and some of them went historical, but I hope that you'll really enjoy the graphic novels created by the students in 8 of our schools. Most importantly today, we have invited 2 of the artists of the high school pieces that were purchased by you, the Utah State Board of Education. And so I will invite those artists up with their pieces. We'll begin with Sarah, and she will introduce her piece and her name.
Hi, I'm Sarah Westman. I'm from Spanish Fork High School. This is my art piece. It's called Popori, and it's called that because it's like a cluttered mixture of various objects in the bookcase. My art teacher is Kathleen Roberts, and unfortunately I don't think she's here today. I was inspired with this piece by Colin Thompson's Ravensburger puzzles, if you've ever seen those, specifically his bookshelf pictures, where it's kind of this concept of a quirky bookcase where it's not quite realistic. So unlike Colin Thompson, I focused less on fantastical structures and weird creatures and lurking eyes and things, and instead I decided to keep the objects close to reality but kind of weirdly proportioned and in places that you wouldn't really find in an actual bookcase. So at first glance it should appear fairly normal, but a closer look, as you can see, reveals these strange details: trees, tiny doors, a gigantic wooden spoon. So everything just seems a little bit off. And I drew this piece for myself. I'm a senior this year, and because of that I've had a lot of stress, and last fall with college applications and everything, I just wanted to draw something that made me happy, something that I could turn to whenever I was stressed. So coming up with silly puns for the book titles, which my family, my dad especially, helped with that, and putting in these fun little details was just kind of a way to calm me down. It was like taking all the clutter inside my brain and then putting it cohesively onto paper. And because books have been such a huge part of my life since I started reading at 3 years old, structuring the entire piece around a bookcase was the perfect way for me to put my personality into the piece. So this piece, first and foremost, was for my happiness. And so I am so grateful that you all were able to find happiness from it as well. So thank you for your support. I'm very honored to have received the USB Purchase Award. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
Perhaps I could speak loudly for a moment. Sarah, I just wanted you to know that when we were walking through and looking at the different pieces of art, your piece of art absolutely drew me into it. And as I looked, I noticed it reminded me of Harry Potter, because out of nowhere there are these staircases that go to different places. And then, will you share with us just some of the titles of the books?
Oh, yeah. I think there was Heart of Dankness. I think there was, I'd have to look at it. It's been a while. There's Geek Mythology, The Princess Bridal, Lord of the Ringlets, Fantastic Beats and Where to Find Them, Oliver Twister, The Lion, the Witch, and the Bathrobe. And I think my dad came up with this one, Bored of the Flies. So, yeah.
So you just go up to the piece of art and you look at it and you think, oh, books in a bookcase. And then as you sit there, suddenly you start being more and more drawn in and discovering more and more hidden things that are there for your enjoyment. And I just want you to know, it just absolutely delighted me. I'm so tickled that you would let us keep this and enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Kaylee Morris. I'm from Tooele High School. This is my piece, Human Triskele. It is a piece about bringing different ethnicities and ages together. I had a bunch of people from my school help me make it, and yeah. It took me about 3 weeks to make. It's drawn in ballpoint pen. It took me about 3 pens. So I am not nearly well put together as Sarah is, but yes, this is my piece. Oh yes, my teacher is Miss Nichols. She's been teaching at the school for I think 2 years now. She was not able to make it today, but I love her to death, so I'm kind of sad. But yeah.
Got it.
I love drawing hands though, so I really wanted to do this piece for me too. This is the biggest piece that I've made with hands, so it means a lot to me. But yes, I've been studying hands to draw hands for about 2 years now. So, yes.
Okay, thank you. Stay up there. Board Member Hanson.
I love this. From where I'm sitting, it looks like a photo. It is so detailed. It's beautiful. And from being a bit of an artist myself, I know hands are really hard. So
They are.
wonderful. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this. This is great.
Of course, thank you.
So, board members, these pieces will be displayed somewhere in the building here. And again, we want to thank Sarah and Kaylee for allowing us to purchase them. So as people come and go, and we have some more you're going to bring up, right? Are the artists?
The students are not here.
The students aren't here? Okay. So thank you. So we have more to share.
One thing that I wanted to point out is these two students talked, their pieces were not for sale. because they were so personal to them, and we had to convince them that it was okay for them to share with the whole State Board of Education and all of the people that will go through this building. So thank you, students, for doing so. These are the other two pieces that were purchased. These students were not able to come, but you can see the deep meaning in both of these. And it was wonderful that we had 4 different mediums of art that were selected for purchase. We had print, photograph, colored pencil, and ballpoint pen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kathy, did you have more to add? Okay. Well, it was fun to go look at that artwork. The invitation was out to the public and to board members to go see it, and it was tough. We were there a long time looking through these pieces, and pretty exciting and motivational for us as we were able to do that. So thank you. Next, we will move to yours or mine? That's the education highlight by who's going to do that is board member, who's going to introduce the highlight is board member Jenny Earl.
So I guess I'll sit. So this is a group of students from Edith Bowen up in, actually they're located right on Utah State University campus. And these are their 5th and 6th grade ambassadors that will be sharing with us today. And we have, I don't even know that the leadership is coming up, and that's fine too. So I'm just going to turn it right over to them. It was, I've got to spend a little bit of time up there, and it's unique if you haven't been there. They have very low turnover when it comes to teachers, but they have very active things going on in their classroom because they bring in students all the time, student teachers and those in the education program. So it's a very, there's a lot of movement, and they do a lot outside. They do a lot in the community, a lot of hands-on. So I'm excited to hear what these youth have to say today. So I'll turn the time over to them.
We are the student ambassadors from Edith Bowen Laboratory School. My name is May Deberard.
My name is Olivia Hernandez.
And my name is Jane Lazenby.
My name is Lenny Jensen.
I'm Catherine Trowbridge.
And I'm Eva Gonzalez, and we are all 5th and 6th graders.
We are kindergarten through 6th grade public charter school. We partnerships with the College of Education at USU. We have 358 students, 2 classes per grade level. 16% of our 16% of our students are special education students, and 18% is athletic mentors, and we learn from our experiences.
The traditional field trip is pack a school bus full of kids, and then it's crowd management instead of instruction, and teachers view it as a lost day. At Edith Bowen, our field experience mindset is academic goals. We place students in small groups, and we do intentional vertical planning.
Our value of field experiences are application of academic concepts, brain development, engaging instruction, relationships, confidence, career exposure, and happiness.
Kindergarten field programs are about 2 hours long, and the kindergartners explore and discover things in the outdoors and learn about seasons and living and non-living things.
First and second graders, they investigate and write, and they do service at the Cash Humane Society.
And that helps them interact with the animals and get the animals used to having kids around, and it helps them read for a purpose.
Third graders explore communities, peer mentors up and down. They teach the third graders, and then the 6th graders, they teach the kindergartners, and then the 6th graders teach the 3rd graders.
4th graders get to help at Hardware Ranch with the Canada thistle, the invasive species, and so they release weevils and collect data on how the weevils are doing. Also, they get to go to the Great Salt Lake and get to do many things that involve Utah studies.
Fifth graders get to go to Teton Science School, a place up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It is their 30th year of going there, and it is a 4-day trip. They learn about geology, adaptations, and they also do this experiment about invasive fish, and so they do that in the Warm Springs.
The sixth grade get to go on a big, huge San Juan trip, and with the Canyon County Discovery Center.
We study ancient civilizations that used to live in that area, and that goes with social studies.
We write things called Heroes' Journeys, and that goes along with language arts.
And we also learn about astronomy, which goes with our science curriculum.
Another thing we do is Green Cart, and it's an ecosystem-friendly car that we get to build and race down in Salt Lake.
And it gives us a kind of background with engineering, and we get to learn how to build these kind of things, and it's a fun activity. So some of the ways that we fund for these trips is the Riker Dadich Memorial Fund, which was founded in memory of a student that used to go to our school but died in a car crash.
Donations from parents.
Foundation grants.
We get anonymous local foundation.
We prioritize budget.
So the partnerships we work with are the Hardware Ranch Elk Refuge.
Division of Wildlife Weed Control.
Resources.
Cache Humane Society.
The National Park Service.
And Bird Refuge.
Cache County Weed Control. Cache County Weed Control. The Cache County Weed Control.
The City of Logan.
Utah State University.
And Bird Refuge.
And Teton Science School.
I like going on field experiences because it really connects us with our peers and our teachers. For example, when me and Olivia and Jane went to Teton Science School, when our student teacher, she went with us, and when she left, she was crying because we were so connected over that bond. So,
And San Juan is another great experience, or like May said too. Some of us felt like homesick because we were so far away from home, obviously, and we got comforted with by our classmates and teachers as well. So it really forged a kind of bond, kind of bond where we trusted each other.
Mm-hmm. These help the teachers and students get more connected. We do it mostly at the beginning of the year, so through the rest of the year we have a connection with our peers.
Any questions?
Okay, questions. Thank you. That was a great presentation. Board Member Lisa Cummins.
Thank you. I am so impressed. I love this program, and I wish it would go into all of the public schools and all of the charter schools. And did you know that scientists have found that there are at least 21 senses, more than 5? And so that by your being out in the field, you're enabling all of those senses to be enacted. And so you learn more, and your brain starts to putting things together. And I think that's fantastic. And so you sound so intelligent and confident and adventurous. I think it propels you to do more, right? And so I am so grateful that you're able to experience that, because not many kids can. Not many kids do. And what a unique and special program that you're in. Congratulations, that's awesome. Yeah.
It's funny because I tell my grandpa about the field trips we do because I have a strong relationship with him, and I tell him about these things, and he's like, I have never ever heard of a school that does these kind of things, and so you're really blessed, you're lucky that you get to go to this kind of school.
Absolutely. And not to diminish the quote from Board Member Gravitt about the 4 walls with tomorrow being inside. I think tomorrow's on the outside as well, kind of an inside-out perspective, and I think you're going to do great. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Board Member Cannon?
Well, I'm very impressed with you, and I'm looking and noticing that several of you have Edith Bowen School and Aggie Blue. So I'm just wondering if you could maybe tell us a little bit what it is like going to school on a university campus. And do any of you have plans to become Utah State Aggies in the future?
Having a school on campus is really fun, and so graduation is starting, and so there's a lot of traffic around our school too, so it's hard for carpool and stuff.
But we trek through it. Yay.
And I love being like with the student teachers because it helps them give an opportunity, and we get to
cheering
just
for
see
them
the
is so fun.
personalities of different student teachers, and it's just fun to have a connection with them and learn different things from
Yeah,
them.
it's so fun cheering for them when it's graduation. You get to see their faces again.
I like being on campus because I'm close to my dad, who works up there, and my brother, who's going to college there. So it's really fun.
Superintendent Dixon?
A few years ago, really it was many years ago, when I was an Aggie, I had the opportunity to do some of my pre-teaching work at Edith Bowen. So I spent my summer at Edith Bowen working with students like you, and I felt like it made me a much better teacher when I got a job here in Salt Lake and became a teacher. So I can say firsthand, working with students at Edith Bowen is really a gift to the teachers that are there with you. So congratulations, and thanks for being awesome.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions or comments. Board Member Earl, did you want to wrap anything up, or? Okay.
One of the interesting challenges they have up there is the waiting list. So because they have such a long waiting list of people that want to come into the school, that each year they've got this challenge of what's the best way to accommodate, and so they're grappling with how to do that. And when you have siblings that are attending and you have siblings on the waiting list coming up, anyways, this is one of their interesting challenges, which would be a great challenge, wouldn't it, for all of our schools to just be here. Anyways, I love, first of all, I love the artwork that we presented here, and when you go into Edith Bowen, there is artwork all over the walls that students have put together, and so it is just a joyful place and enjoyment. Enjoyment. I'm not even saying that right. It's enjoy. I won't even try. It was wonderful to be there. How's that? So, anyways, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. And our leadership over here, we have Nate Justice and Eric Newell that have come with us. So, if you guys can give these guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Are the parents, do we have anyone that's followed these students here that are in the audience? If they want to, can you guys stand and be recognized? I want to make sure we get everyone recognized here.
We do not have parents.
That means they trust you guys very well to get them here and back. Thank you very much.